Alright, about to start the game. Umpire's last minute checks. We're here at the Bejoys Cricket Club. The QueensPark Stadium is where this game is being held. Santosh is going to open the attack. He's got his keeper up to the stumps. We have 6 overs of power play. He's got man at the cover boundary. And his man at long on. The keeper getting Harish Banga, who's been brought in as a professional in this. He's the one who is making sure he's got the men at the right place. He's got a short third man. He's got a gully, point, cover, extra cover, mid off. That's the field on the offside. 3 men is man at square leg. It's shot mid wicket. And the umpire says play. First ball of the game coming up. Santosh to bowl down the leg side. Flicks it towards fine leg. There's nobody there. The man at square leg, Vinod, doing the chasing there. Batsman come back for 2. SS is the one who's taken strike. He's got 2 of the first ball. Cross breeze blowing from left to right out here. Perfect conditions for a game of cricket. The Suns playing hide and seek at the moment. The ball should jag around for the first few overs. That's what he got there. And bowled him through the gate. This is what I was talking about. The ball's going to jag around a bit. He brought the one inside and he's bowled him neck and crock. And the first casualty for Petrofac with SS going back to the hut for an early shower for 2 runs of 2 balls. Straight away success for DNO Dynamos. This is what they'll be looking for. Make early inroads and put the defending champions under pressure. They're already under pressure after their first loss last week. So they will want to make amends to that. And they've run into DNO Dynamos, who have drawn first blood in the first 2 balls of the game. Shibin is a non-striker there. Shibin was leading the side last week in the place of Jikesh. Now with the regular coming in, he's been relieved of this duty. And as we speak, we see the captain coming in, Jikesh. Just a bit of love between 2 of them. A bit of talk, probably telling him that just stay around. The ball's going to move around. Taking guard. Santosh bowling to Jikesh. Trying to cut that one right into the gloves. Too close for that. Well kept by Harish. A seasoned wicketkeeper standing up to the stumps. Change in the field. The man at gully has been sent to deep gully now. Again, not sure if there was chance of a run out. Let's have a look. Too quick, but the batsman's already in. Umpire's not interested. Jikesh off the mark. Score moves on to 3. Straight to the man at point. Prabhat, by the time we could collect, both the batsmen had decided that they'll take on that run. Bit of changes as the man at long on, mid on rather, has gone back to long on, and the man at deep gully again comes back into the circle. Probably wary of the fact that Jikesh likes to cut, and he's pretty good. That's his strength area. Shibin taking strike, comes down the wicket, plays it back towards the bowler. Score remains on 3. Last ball of the first over coming up. Jikesh just having a word with him, probably telling him to be a bit more stable at the crease. No, it's just the first over of the game. 19 more overs after this. Santosh bowling the last ball, drives it back straight to the bowler. End of the over. Successful over for DNO Dynamos. 3 for the loss of 1 wicket. The man out, SS out for 2, bowled the 2 balls he had faced. Jikesh off the mark and Shibin yet to get off the mark. Over number 2 to begin. Dipesh Rajkot, right arm medium fast over the wicket. Bowling to Jikesh. Plays it straight at the man at short covers. James, the fielder there. Quite live wire on the field. Smack from the UK. As you see the sun coming out, is playing a bit of hide and seek, so there is going to be a bit of warmness and a bit of coolness side by side as the sun makes its way through the clouds. Rajkot in the second ball down the leg side will be called a wide. So first extras of the innings, Dipesh this time airing in line. He bowls it down the leg side. Lucky for him, if Jikesh had just got a bit of a bat, this could have been running down towards the fine leg boundary. The man at fine leg was quite square and probably would have no chance to stop that one. Jikesh standing just about a feet outside the popping crease just to negate again. This time he had his line. This is what I was talking about. Off the pads, ball racing away towards the fine leg boundary, waiting for the umpire signal. He calls it as bad. So that's what I was talking about. The first one was good. The second one, he was got away with it. And the third one, the page ball. This time, again down leg side, will be called a wide again. This time, again down leg side, will be played towards the fine leg for a single. The pace. This time, plays it back towards the bowler. No run there. Driving this one through covers. Lovely drive through extra covers for a boundary. 4 more runs. Score moves on to 14. Expensive over. He's already gone for 10 with the 11 with the ball to go. Last ball of the over coming up. Trying to drive that one off the bat. The umpire just signals there was no way that was going to be given out. End of the over. Expensive over coming to an end. 14 for the loss of 1 wicket. Shippen batting on 9 of 6. Jikesh batting 1 of 3. Over number 3, on strikes, short of the man at short covers. Just jumping off the surface on the good length. This time again, straight up to the batsman, no feet movement, plays it back to the bowler, no run there. Score remains on 14. Third ball of the over, Santosh coming cuts this one towards gully, quickly takes off for a single. Both the batsmen complete it easily. He's giving the strike back to Shippen, who's got 2 boundaries to his credit. Score moves on to 15. We're in the third over of the power play. Still 2 men allowed only outside the circle. A man at deep backward square leg. There's a man at extra covers. Shippen cuts this one, trying to take off for a single. Jikens declines. Prabhat quickly onto the ball from point. Good line and length from Santosh, carried off from how he bowled the last week. And this time takes it over the man, it covers. James doesn't hold on to that. Well fielded from the man at deep long off, who runs to his right and saves a certain boundary. Too quick for James. He was slightly late to react, and the ball burst through his hands. And luckily for them, just a single given off that ball. The last ball of the over coming up. Plays it with soft hands, plays it towards short mid-wicket, and a quick single. Both the batsmen just happy to collect those quick singles and get the score moving. 17 for the loss of 1 wicket at the end of 3 overs. Shivan batting 10 of 9. Jikesh batting 4 of 8 rather. Another 3 for over. So his analysis, 2 overs, 6 runs, 1 wicket. Dipesh bowling a second over, playing it to a short mid-wicket. There's a fielder there, having an attempt at the non-striker's end. Good cover up. Needs to check his line. He has to bowl outside the off stump. That's what he's supposed to do. Again, this time, right up to the batsman, goes a soft shot straight to the man at mid-on, and they take away for a single. Score moves on to 18. Gets Jikesh off strike, who's at the moment batting 4 of 9, but he doesn't mind that. He knows as long as he stays, he has those long levers which he can use later on. Just making sure they don't have too many casualties up front. Shibin facing Jikesh. This time goes over the top. So the man it covers coming in, falls short of it. Deciding to take on Dipesh's arm. Luckily for him, the man at extra cover was right on the boundary, didn't make ground. So a let off for Shibin. Score moves on to 19. Change in the field. The man at covers coming inside, and the man at fine leg going quite fine. Not sure if that was a brilliant idea, but let's see. This time slightly short, cuts towards the man at gully, completes a single, wanting a second. Too late to decide on that. A weak throw by YP, but still allows only the single. This time using a bit of shoulder, but quite a bit too short for to discomfort the batsman. Probably little bit bowls in the good length area and brings it off the surface. That's going to be quite interesting. This time, good length on the 6 to 8 meter mark is what your coaches inform you. Much better over this time from Dipesh. He went for 11 in the first over. So far, he's bowled 4 balls. He's just given away 3 singles. Needs to close out the over much better than the last time. Fifth ball of the over. This time slightly short. Comes on top of it. More like a tennis ball bounce. Gets on top of it. Plays it towards the man at deep gully. A single of the 5th ball. 4 runs coming off that over. 1 more ball to go in the over. $21 for the loss of for 1 wicket in 4 overs. First ball of the over. Plays it towards short mid wicket. A single. Score moves on to 22. Brings Chikesh on to strike. Santosh into his 3rd over. Slightly short. Plays it towards the man at point. Prabhat quick onto his left side. A few paces. Gets to the ball. Stops the batsman from taking those singles. This is what is required from DNO Dynamos. Keep that energy up for the 20 overs that you're on the field. Save every run that you can. And make sure when you come back, you have the least number of runs to chase. Santosh this time again playing it with soft hands to the man at short mid wicket. Again another single. They wouldn't mind that as long as they're not giving away boundaries, and then try to keep it as low as possible. A little bit more effort from the guys on DNO Dynamos. Stop those singles as well. Make sure you create the bowler, help the bowler create that pressure that he is bowling. Santosh is bowling an immaculate line, keeping it on the good length, is mixing it up, not giving the batsman much room to play on the sticks. Both these batsmen happy to see off Santosh. 3 balls up in the over. This time over the top, going to the man at long off. Doesn't get out in the middle of the bat. So the ball's not traveled that much. So a single to the total. Score moves on to 24. Keeper coming up to the stumps for Santosh. This time plays it through gully and point and gets a boundary. So first boundary for Jikesh. He was waiting for this for quite some time. This time Santosh bowling marginally outside the off stump. That's what he needed. bisected the fielder between gully and point, and all Prabhat could do was chase the ball beyond the boundary line and bring it back to play. 28 for the loss of no wicket at the end of 5 overs. Jikesh into double figures. He's on 10 of 13. We've got a first bowling change. Dipesh is taken off the attack. Vinod Jacob comes into bowl. 28 for 1 in 5 overs. The man out, SS out for 2, bowled by Santosh. Since then, both these men have scored 26 runs at run a ball. Last over of power play coming up. Chikesh on strike. Just two men. The man at wide long off was on the boundary, and a man at long on. Right arm over. Down the leg side, asking for a stumping. Is he going upstairs? Umpire's not interested. What beautiful wicket keeping by Harish. Firstly, he moves to his left, collects the ball, and a quick throw onto the stumps. The score moves on to 29. In the air, the man at wide long off. Izzy takes that one. He drops up one. How costly can it be? They've not been taking their catches so far. So DNO Dynamos drop another one. Came under the ball, but in the end, fluffed that chance. So 2 runs to the total. Right up to the batsman. This time plays it towards the man at mid off. A single being taken. Score moves on to 31. This time cuts this one. The man at point. Not so good fielding by Prabhat. He could have stopped it with his hand. Decides to go with his leg and pulls it back at the last minute. Allows that boundary. It's not going to help the cause. The bowler's not going to be happy about it. The job is to ensure that you put your hands behind the ball when you're fielding and not with your legs. Allows that boundary to go through. So slowly now Petrofac trying to open themselves up. Both these batsmen have got the measure of the wicket. Jikesh moves on to 14 of 14 balls. A field being spread. The man, everybody brought a bit squarer now, trying to close that gap outside the off stump. Jumping onto the batsman. A quick single. बोलो मैं क्या उससे ज़्यादा क्या करूँगा पानी दे दे बाबू पानी को दे दे मैं क्या करूँ मैं ऐसे चिल्ला तो नहीं सकता ना कमेंट्री करूँगा कि चिल्लाऊंगा बैठ के इधर This time driving on the up, over the bowler's head, over the long on fielder. First maximum of the game. A change of bat, and he finds the meat of the bat, and the ball sails over the long on boundary for a maximum. End of over number 6, 42 for the loss of 1 wicket. Shibin batting 23 of 19. Jikesh batting 15 of 15. 14 runs coming off that over. End of power play. 42 for the loss of 1 wicket. 7 runs and over. Should get them around 140, but they will be looking for more than 170, 180. Check, check. Over number 7, Prabhat Saxena into the attack. If end of power play, so the field is relaxed. We got a change in the field as well. Chandan is onto the field now. That shot fine. He's touching himself. Probably will be asked to bowl in the next over or two. Now have a look at the field now. We still have 4 men out, 4 men inside the circle. The man at shot fine, gully, point, and shot covers. Prabhat cuts this one towards gully. YP, the fielder there, keeps it down to a single. Score moves on to 43. The man at extra cover. The man at long off. The man at long on. Man at deep mid wicket and a man at deep square. So these 5 men outside the circle patrolling the boundaries. Time cuts this one straight to the man at point. Santosh doing the fielding there. Both the batsmen deciding against the single. The last few overs, Petrofac has just started upping the ante up. Prabhat this time coming down the track, plays it towards covers. One bounce into the fence he goes. Shibin now got the measure of the wicket. He's taken on the bowlers now. Last over he went after Vinod. This time taking a liking to Prabhat. It was in the slot. Drives this on the up, over covers for a boundary. Score moves on to 47. I'm putting Prabhat under pressure right away. Change in the field. The man at there's 2 men in covers. 1 man at the cover boundary. 1 man at the extra cover boundary, leaving that cover region fairly open. Cuts this one straight to the man at point. Fielder misfields, but both the batsmen decide against the single. He's given away 5 runs of the 4 balls he's bowled. This time short, slightly short. Goes onto the back foot, plays it back towards the bowler. Good comeback after the boundary. 2 dot balls. Tosses this one, but this time doesn't get to the pitch of the ball. Does the ball sail? Yes, it does sail over the boundary. Didn't get it off the meat of the bat, but enough height and distance to go over the top for a maximum. So an expensive over coming to an end. 11 runs coming off it. The 50 coming up. 53 for 1 at the end of 7 overs. And Shibin now batting 33 of 24. Two maximums to his credit. Vinod to continue. One for given away 14 runs. This time coming round the wicket. Same field, which is the last over. Cuts this one. YP there. He's been busy through the innings here. He's managed to do well. He's not given away boundary from his area, so he's patrolled his area well. Veteran quite quick. He analyzes the way the ball's gonna spin and make sure he's behind the ball. Just given away single of the first ball. This time straight over the man at covers, and this one's the third maximum. Shibin is in full flow right now. The moment it's tossed up or it's pitched up to him, he's using those levers and making sure he gets it off the meat of the bat, and the sweet sound of that, taking it over the extra cover boundary. It went at least about 10 yards away from the boundary, so no chance for the man at extra cover. All he could do is just retrieve the ball from the boundary, give it back to the bowler. The score galloping on to 60. 25 runs came of the previous 2 overs, 7 already of the first 3 balls. And pressure on the bowler right away. This time plays it towards short fine. They quickly complete a single. Score moves on to 61. To Jikesh. This time soft hands, plays it towards the man at extra covers. James coming in. By the time he comes in, both the batsmen quite quick to complete 2 runs. So 2 more to the total. Not much of effort from Jikesh yields him 2 runs. The score moves on to 63. 63 for 1. The last 2 balls of the over remaining. Nearly beat him there. Harish too couldn't collect the ball. Made sure he had some glove to it. Nonetheless, it's a dot ball, a rare dot ball in the last few overs. Score remains on 63. Last ball of the over. Playing it over the bowler's head, and the ball races away towards the boundary. Jikesh had seen enough. This time it was in the slot and over the bowler's head. End of the over. 28 runs of the 2 overs. He's gone for another 14 in this over. So score moving on to 67. 39 runs coming of the last 3 overs. The hard work done by Santosh to keep the batsman quiet. And in the last 3 overs, with the field spread out, both these batsmen are quite comfortable at the wicket. They have got the measure of the wicket. They know that's not much happening. The chancing on whatever comes their way. Prabhat to start the next over. This time jams it into the ground, so no run there. Shibin on to 40. This time drives this towards the man at extra cover. James, the fielder, there keeps it down to a single, but a slight misfield allows both these batsmen to complete the second run as well. He moves on to 42. Score moves on to 69. This time tosses this one up, and Shibin, in the form that is, he's not going to miss out. Sails over the man at long off for another maximum. So he jumps on to 48. Score moves on to 75. 19 runs of the 9 balls that Prabhat has bowled so far, unable to keep the batsman quiet. You need to make sure you keeping him quiet. This time goes for the cut. Santosh misses this one. The man at covers Prashant, comes to his left, but by the time he comes in, they complete the second, and 50 for Shibin. A well-made half century of 30 balls. '77 for one. This time on the charge, plays it towards the man at extra cover, gets a single. He moves on to 51. He's got 3 boundaries and 4 maximums in those 50. He needed 30 balls to complete that. Jikesh on strike this time. Cuts this one straight to the man at point. Santosh there doing the fielding. 9 overs completed. 78 for the loss of 1 wicket. Have a look at the scorecard. The first man, SS, bowled by Santosh for 2 of 2. And since then, Shibin is batting 51 of 31. 3 boundaries, 4 sixes. And Jikesh batting 23 of 21 with 3 boundaries. As we have another bowling change, Prashant comes in to bowl. Have a look at the bowling card so far. Santosh, the captain, 3 overs, 13 runs, 1 wicket. Dipesh, 2 overs, 15 runs, no wicket. Vinod Jacob, 2 overs, 28 runs, no wicket. Prabhat Saxena, 2 overs, 22 runs. They've gone for 50 runs in the 4 overs that they have bowled together so far, prompting another change. Prashant slowing this one up, but down the leg side. Wait for the umpire signal. Off the umpire signals that's off the pad, so it won't be called a wide. So dot ball to start. Not a good line, but he's lucky to get away with that. Last over before we go into the drinks break and the team change sides. Bat 10 overs from one side. This time down the tracks towards long on and sails over the man for a comfortable 6. So his 5th maximum of the game. And he is now hit top gear. 84 for the loss of 1. Partnership of 82 between these two. Prabhat, sorry, it's Prashant who's bowling to this one. Again, tossing this one up towards the man at long on, and he drops that one, lost it in the sun, so that's another boundary and another drop catch. This is the third reprieve that Shibin has had. The score moves on to 88. Down the ground, in the air, falling short of the man at covers. By the time Prabhat could get there, the ball had already hit the turf, so another dot ball. Beg your pardon. Last one was a no ball because the fielder was outside the circle, so a free hit with no run. But this time, again, turning, Chandan not accounting for the spin that would be there, allows the second run, keeps Shibin on strike, 2 more runs to the total. Score moves on to 89. Shot this time, quite slow. Shibin had to reach for that one. Manages to find a man, it covers. No run there. Again, another slow one, but this time a wide. Shibin doesn't want to chase that one, keeps it down to a single. 92 with the last ball of the over. This time swivels around, plays it towards the mid wicket area. Vinod Jacob coming around, keeps it down to 1 run. End of the over, 10 overs completed, 93 for the loss of 1 wicket. Shibin batting 63 of 37, Jikesh batting 23 of 21, 15 runs coming off that over. We'll take a short drinks break. check. 93 for 1 after 10 as we change ends, and was had the gloves until few overs back, is now going to bowl. Allows Shibin to take a single. He moves on to 65. .94 for 1. Current run rate should take them to about 185. Swime cuts this one towards point. A quick single between both the batsmen. Jikesh favoring that gully and point area, but they've not been able to close that gap. Keep him on strike. Keep Shibin away from strike for some time and try to apply pressure. This time slightly short, and it's called a wide. Score moves on to 96. Tossing this one up, plays it towards the vacant deep square leg area for another boundary. The 100 coming up, 100 coming in 10.3 overs, just for the loss of 1 wicket. The man out, SS, bowled for 2. And since then, Petrofac has just made sure that they're trying to keep DNO Dynamos out of the game as early as possible. They bided their time in the first few overs when the ball was moving around. Santosh was bowling a good line. Deepesh was bowling well. And then when the changes happened, they made sure that they quickly pounced on the bowlers. Prabhat was first to be... Vinod was the first one to be taken to the cleaners. And then Prabhat was the next. And then it was Prashant also who was taken to the cleaners. This time Harish bowls a low full toss, plays it straight to the man at long off. Zen the fielder there, and by the time he finished, the chance of a run out, and the umpire has given that the saying is you never run on a misfield, and this is what he did. He was quite casual when he came back for the second, and unfortunately it is Jikesh who had just started to come good, fell short of his crease. The umpire has gone upstairs, looks like he's in trouble there. And if that's a wicket out nowhere against the run of play. We'll wait for the umpire's decision. And the umpire signals that's out. He's short of his crease. Have a look at that. Just a few inches. And that's good enough to be taking the walk back to the pavilion. Have a look at that. Harry was quite convinced. And the second wicket to fall against the run of play. They didn't expect. And Zain, who had just misfielded, made sure he recovered well. And he made sure that he breaks the stump. The direct hit only could have got that, and he managed to get that. .101 for 2. The man just out is Jikesh. He's out for 24. Adil Anwar coming to the center this time, straight to the man at Zen. He feels of his bowling, of Harry's bowling, and keeps it down to a single. For DNO Dynamos, getting the second wicket of Shibin, who was giving good support to Adil. Plays it towards the man at point, takes off for a single. He's off the mark with that single. End of the over, 103 for 2. 10 runs coming off that over. Coming back for his second spell, he had given away 15 runs of the first 2 overs. The man hit deep mid wicket. The man had long on, man had long off. Nobody patrolling the boundary behind square at the boundary, so he's got to keep his line pretty straight. Can't bowl into the legs, as this time plays it towards long on Adil. Just a quiet push, just having a feel of his bat. Not really happy with that. The sound of it didn't look really pleasing. Well, at the other end, the man Shibin, who's in full flow, the moment he changed his bat and then started going full throttle against the Dynamo bowlers. This time, slightly short of a length, goes onto the back foot, plays it towards the man at covers Santosh there, keeps it down to a single. Takes the score on to 105. It's the cool breeze still blowing since the morning. It's batting 72 of 43. This time right up into the block hole, mixing his length. The moment he bowls slightly short to Shibin, and this time going right up to the toe of the batsman, keeps it down to a dot ball. So that's a good start to the over. 2 runs coming of the first 3 balls. It's got to maintain the pressure if they want to put Petrofac under some kind of pressure. Fourth ball of the over to Adil. This time slightly short, goes on to the pull. He doesn't have any cover, and the bluff didn't work. And Adil quickly pounced onto that. One bounce into the fence behind square. So the planning not really great, the execution not really great out here. He didn't have any protection behind square, so it was always even half a bat would have gone into the vacant areas. Brings a boundary. Score moves on to 109 of 11.4 overs. Kept the same field. Right arm over the wicket. Comes into bowl. This time again short. This time cuts it towards the man at point. But both the batsmen quite happy to take that single. Score moves on to 110. Last ball of the 12th over coming up. Last ball of the over. This time to Shibin. Man at long off. Should have come a couple of paces up front and taken the chance. It was worth that effort, but deciding to stay back. So another reprieve for Shibin. End of the over. 8 runs coming off it. 111 for 2 at the end of 12. over the man at long on and on to the next. Check. Shipin now into top gear. He's moved on to 70. Check, check. Harry bowling to Shiban, who takes it to long off or a single. First ball was a maximum single of the second ball. He's at the non-strikers end now. He's moved on to 79. Well, of course, for 100 in this game, if he can continue, as Adil plays it in the air towards the man at long off. Zain's been quite busy since the start of the second half of this innings. He's got a run out and quite a few balls to field, so he's been quite busy. Shibin on strike now. Let's see what he does. Slightly short, cuts this one towards the man at short third. Take off for a single. Score moves on to 120 with that single. Two more balls left in the over. This is the 13th over of the innings. Slightly short towards the man at mid wicket, and one bounce into the fence she goes. Ron at the fielder. By the time he comes around, the ball is over the fence for four more. Score moves on to 124. Harry 2 now coming under a bit of stick. He's given away 23 runs in the 1.5 that he's bowled. Last ball of the over. Shot again, but this time misses that one. And he's been bowled, so some more redemption for DNO Dynamos. Came back this time slightly short, but the ball didn't bounce, and Adil had already committed himself. So overplayed the ball and paid the price. He's out for 124 for 3. Adil Anwar out for 12 of 8 with 2 boundaries. 13 overs gone, 124 for 3. Prabhat Saxena back into the attack. Shivan batting on 81 of 47. This one towards short third. By the time the fielder does, the field probably pulled up a hamstring as soon as he tried to stop that one with his legs. 2 more runs to the total. Score moves on to 120. Check. Dilfer on to strike. First ball straight over the bowler's head. One bounce to the fence for 4 runs. No sighters required for him. He straight away takes off the moment it was pitched up. 130 for 3. 134 for 3 after 14 overs. Harry coming into the attack again. He's gone for 23. He had got a wicket of the last ball of the previous over. This time asking for an LBW, probably height could be the time. Plays it towards the man at long off for a single. Shibin batting 90 or 51. Dilfer batting 2 on 4. Shibin on strike. This time drives it towards the man at deep mid wicket for a single. So 91, 136 for 3, 14.32 runs coming of the first 3 balls. This time on the back foot, plays it towards the man. It covers Santosh there doing the fielding, keeps it down to a single. 3 runs coming of this over. Shibin on strike. Let's see how. This time down the track, plays it towards the man at long on. There's a fielder there, Prabhat, safe hands, but all he has to do is keep it in the field of play, give it back to the bowler. 1 more runs, 4 runs coming off 5 balls. Slightly short, will be called a wide. Will have to re-bowl, trying to outfox the batsman by bowling it slow, but ended up bowling it outside the tram line. So 1 more run to the total. Will have to reload this last ball. Tossing this one and playing across the line. Lucky for him, didn't hit at the stumps. End of the over. 139 for 3 at the end of 15. The last 5 overs coming up. Winner to continue. He's given away 28 of the 2 overs that he has bowled. So he has a task on hand. He has to keep that man quiet. Even if he's not able to get him out, he more better if he can keep him off strike. Give him a single, get him off strike. Put the pressure on the other batsman. This time trying to make him drive that one, misses that ball. So a dot ball to start, putting in a bit of effort. It was an effort ball. Floated it outside the off stump, quite close to the batsman. This time in the slot, and it's over the fielder onto the Queensland Stadium. Travel from Queen's Park to Queensland for another maximum, and he jumps on to 98, just 2 runs away from a century. The bowler and keeper having to talk, but we know onto the third ball he Started with a dot and a maximum. This time slightly short. Cuts this one and fielded by the man at short third. Puts his foot around. Stops him from getting that century so far. He moves on to 99 of 56 balls. 146 for 3. Brings Dilfer on to strike. Trying to cut this one. Will be a dot ball. Score remains on 146. This time drives this down the ground. Prabhat Saxena coming and makes sure he stops it with his foot. Gives away a single. One more run. Last ball of the 16th over. 147. With testing how does Shibin approach this one. Trying to get his century. Does he go for the big one? Does he go for a single? This time drives this one down the ground for a maximum 57 ball 100 for Shibin. And a good reduction for him. Six boundaries, 7 maximums in that. Strike rate of 175. 148 for 3 after 16. And Vinod Jacob, 3 overs, 37 runs, no wicket. Now with the century under his belt, the last 4 overs, Shibin, who's already in top gear, will want to roll on like a F1 car, as this time trying to go, but he's been bowled under the bat. The ball didn't rise that much. Trying to sweep that one, and congratulations from the opponents, and the 4th wicket down for Petrofac. 148 for 4. The applause from the opponents, and that's what you got to see. This is a cooperative event. The teams know each other well, and it's always nice to appreciate some good performances, as James gives him a pat on his back as he goes to the pavilion. 148 for 4, out for 100 of 58 with 6 boundaries and 7 maximums. So Harry, after keeping for 10 overs, comes back, chances his arm, and in 3.1 overs, given away 28 runs, and he's taken 2 wickets. New man at the crease, Bhupesh Katia, lower middle order batsman, can pack a punch, can hit a few lusty blows, and then later on useful with the ball as well. Comes into face Harry, tossing this one, plays it back down past the bowler, straight to the man at long on for a single. So Bhupesh is off the mark with a single. Goes on to 149. 149 for 4. Tosses this one, beaten by the flight, but nonetheless gets it towards the man at mid wicket. Both the batsmen take an effortless single. Probably a little bit of effort could have put pressure on the fielder to try to go for the second. So 150 coming up, 150 for 4 in 16.3 overs. In the air towards the man at long on. Prabhat coming, it's falling short of it. One bounce into his hands. So one more run to the total. Score moves on to 151. Slightly onto the back foot. Plays it towards the short mid wicket area. One more single to the total. 152 for 5. Petrofac today without the services of their number one player, Jeevan Gangadharan. So the onus fell on Shibin to anchor this innings, and he did well after a century. Jikesh coming in for a good 22, 24 of 22. Chance in the air, straight to the man at square leg. Vinod Jacob doing the fielding there, keeping down to a single. End of the over, 153 for 4, and Harry 4 overs, 33 runs, and 2 important wickets for him. Run rate of 9 runs an over should get them to 180. This is what they'll be eyeing minimum. 3 more overs left in the innings. Bhupesh on strike, Vinod to bowl. Batting 3 of 3 balls. That shot goes onto the back foot, plays it towards the man at long on. Prabhat again coming up and keeping it down to a single. The score moves on to 154. Shot in the air towards the man at mid wicket. The complete one by the time Harry comes around from square leg. It was in no man's land. Not closer to the man at deep mid wicket, neither closer to the man at square leg. So 2 more runs. And Dilfer moves on to 8. Score moves on to 156. Full toss towards mid wicket. Ronit coming to his right, but one bounce into the fence. He goes quite low, quite slow. He took off the blocks but couldn't reach the ball, so a full toss had to be put away, and rightly so, gets 4 runs for it, and the score moves on to 160. One more towards the man at mid wicket. Again, just happy to stay back and take it one lob. An effort with a couple of steps could have resulted in a catch, but not to be. So one more run to the total. Score moves on to 161. Straight again towards the man at mid wicket. One bounce into the hands and straight back to the bowler. One more run to the total. 162 with the last ball of the 18th over coming up. Plays it with soft hands towards Santosh at covers. They take a single. End of the 18th over. $163 for 4 after 18. Dipesh bowling to Dilfer, who plays it to a short fine. There's a slight misfield, but just a single. The Dipesh had gone for 23 of the 3 overs he's bowled. Keeps it down to a single of the first ball. Last 2 overs, let's see what Petrofac are able to salvage out here. The best of the bat are back in the hut. Not to least to be mentioned that these two also can play a few lusty blows. Plays this in the air over the man at gully and the ball racing away to the boundary. The man at third man coming around keeps it down to a single. Rather keeps it down to 2. So 2 more runs. They have wickets in hand. So they can throw their hands hard at these last 10 deliveries, legal deliveries that are there. Dipesh bowling to Bhupesh. Full toss. Plays it towards the man at covers, and the umpire at square calls it a no ball for height. So that will be waiting for the umpires. They're confirming. Dipesh to continue. It's not a no ball, is what the umpires have confirmed. So another one asking for an edge, and yes, it is. So wicket number 5. Finally, some reward for Dipesh, who's bowled well. He bowled, and remember, he was bowling in the power play with minimum protection outside. He did well so far, and this time is rewarded with the batsman edging this one. Dilfer edges this one towards the wicketkeeper, and he's been caught. Out for 15 of 16 balls. Newman, Sanup at the crease. Sanup too had missed the first game when Petrofac had taken on Cultural Eagles last week. A task on hand. Dipesh bowling to Sanup. Up to the batsman, plays it towards the man at deep mid wicket. Harry there doing the fielding there. Keeps it down to a single. 168 for 5. Last ball of the penultimate over coming up. Dilfer was caught by Shahbaz off the bowling of Dipesh Rajgor for 15 of 16 balls with 1 boundary. Brings Bhupesh on to strike. He's 8 of 7. No boundaries, but he's made sure he's scoring about run a ball. Plays it towards the man at long on. Prabhat coming to his right, keeps it down to a single. End of the Over 19 completed, 169 for 5. Deepesh 4 overs, 29 runs, 1 wicket. As the captain Santosh comes in to bowl the last over of the innings. Santosh bowling to Bhupesh. Goes on the back foot, plays it towards the man at long off. Zen does the no, got a beautiful run out earlier in the innings to send the captain Jikesh back to the pavilion. And Sanup on strike and playing across the line, and he's lost his stump. So one more casualty for Petrofac. They're now 170 for 6 with 4 more balls remaining in the innings. Sanup gone for 1 of the 2 balls he faced. This is the Oil and Gas Premier League Season 4 being played at the Bijoy Cricket Club. We're at the QUEENSPARK Stadium. Lovely outfield out here. New man to the crease, AJ. He's facing Santosh. In the block hole. Digs it out, sends it to the man at long on. Prabhat there. Again, another single. 1 more run to the total. Score moves out to 171. Bhupesh taking strike. Plays it towards the man at long on. Prabhat there and lost it for a second, but made sure he recovered well. And a good judge of the catch. Safe pair of hands to send Bhupesh. So 2 wickets in the over. For Santosh, he's already got a 3 for now. 3.4 overs, 15 runs, 3 wickets to his credit. Samir, Samir, Samir. Chai, chai. Satyan, the man coming in at number 9. 2 more balls left in the innings. Interesting to see if they can get a boundary of at least one of these 2 balls. Cross that 175 mark. Or do they even try for 180? driving this one. Back to the bowler. Misfields that one. Gives away a single. Takes Satyan off the mark with that single. Score 172. Well bowled by Santosh into the block hole. He's not given away any bit today whatsoever. He's been stood tall amongst the ruins of his side. 3 runs with 2 wickets in this over. Last ball coming up. Full toss. Bowls it down the leg side. Wait for the umpire signal. The ball going away towards the boundary. They come back for 2. Off the bat is what the umpire says. 2 more runs to finish at 174 for 7 of their allotted 20 overs. Riding on the back of a magnificent 100 by Shibin earlier in the innings. He was out for 100 of 58 balls with 6 boundaries and 7 maximums. And for the DNO Dynamos, it was the captain Santosh who finishes his quota of 4 overs, 18 runs and 3 wickets. 175 is what DNO Dynamos will have to chase when we come back in the next show moments. It's an interesting game of cricket in the Oil and Gas Premier League Season 4 here at the Bijoj Cricket Club. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. Thank you. Welcome back. The chase underway for DNO Dynamos against Petrofac, chasing 175 in their allotted 20 overs. A task on hand. You're playing the defending champions. A loss in their opening game for both these sides. So both of them will be itching to get their first points on board. Harry, the man, was at the center. Ball number one of the chase coming up. Right arm round. Trying to cut this one. Quite close to the bat. No run there. Shibin, the century maker, is open the bowling, starting from round the wicket. He's got a slip in place. He's got a short third, gully, point, cover. He's a man at long off. These are the men on the offside. We're in the power play this time, trying to play a sweep. Wait for the umpire signal. Is off the bat, so he's off the mark with that single. Santosh is his partner. So both the senior statesmen of the side deciding to take the game head on. Managed short fine. Managed short mid wicket. Santosh cuts this one. Fielder there going to his right. Keeps it down to a dot ball. So no run there. AJ the fielder. The Oil and Gas Premier League Season 4 at the Bijoy Cricket Club. We're at the QUEENSPARK Stadium. These pictures brought to you by ASL Live as Santosh goes down the ground, plays it towards the man at long off. There's a man there for that. 1 run to the total. Score moves on to 2. Santosh off the mark with that single. Both these batsmen have a run each of the 2 balls they face. They need much more than that. We're in the power play with only 2 men. They need to maximize this. Sweeps this one towards the vacant square leg area. Nobody there. The ball just trickling along the fence and yet to reach the boundary. We'll have a look at that. It's still not reached the boundary, so this is not so good running. They just getting 2 runs. Probably could have got another 1 more run. So 2 more runs added to the total. Score moves on to 4. A title sponsor, Cashew. Associate sponsors, Quantum Investment and Financial Management, Quick Art, Sparklet MES, Hedge and Sachs, and Sarovell. Four for the loss of no wicket. This time in the air towards the man at short mid wicket. Fielder coming around, misses that one, and the batsman complete a single. A impulsive shot from Harry. Had already premeditated that he'll go for the sweep with the fielder inside the circle. Nobody patrolling the mid wicket boundary. 5 for the loss of no wicket at the end of the first over. Harry again not happy with the Adil Anwar to partner Shibin with the new ball. He had come in at 4 earlier in innings when they were batting, scored 15 runs, and now has been handed over the new nut along with his partner Shibin, who bowled an excellent over. Just gave away 5 runs. We're in the power play, so only with 2 men around outside the 30-yard circle, he managed to make sure that he doesn't give away a boundary of the first over. So the pressure straight away on DNO Dynamos with the run rate already above 8 runs and over. Adil to Harry on the back foot, plays it towards the man at point. They complete a single, taking a shy at the bowler's end. Adil not happy with the fielder trying to go for a run out. He's happy to give away that single, doesn't want to give away those extra runs. Brings Santosh on strike. 6 for the loss of no wicket. Adil slightly short, cuts this one towards point, straight to the man there. AJ, the fielder there, using his height well. A bit of effort in the ball, bowls it slightly short, up to the rib cage of the batsman. That trying to keep the batsman on his toes. This time slightly slower, drives this down the ground. The man at mid-off misfields, but the man at long on coming around, but he too doesn't stop it with his hands, and the ball races away to the boundary. First boundary of the innings. Shibin, the fielder there, done well to come around to his left, but didn't make the effort of bending to catch the ball, and in the end manages to send this over the ropes. So first boundary, score moves on to 10. Santosh is 5 of 4 with one boundary. Slightly short this time, but under the batsman's bat into the keeper's gloves. No run there. Sanup, the wicketkeeper. Slightly short this time, cuts it, bisects the man at short third and the man at gully. The ball just stops inside the 30-yard circle. Well done by Dilu. He makes sure he keeps the ball within the boundary and keeps it down to 2 runs. Score moves on to 12. Last ball of the over coming up. We called a wide, so another run to the total. Score moves on to 13. A slow but a steady start, if you can put it that way, but they need to continue. They need someone to take that risk in that first 6 overs to make sure they don't fall behind the run rate early on. When tucked on to the back foot, beaten for pace, managed to keep it down the ground. End of the over, 13 for the loss of no wicket. 8 runs coming off this over. Over number 3, right up around the wicket. Harry taking strike. We called a wide. Planted his foot but decided to go against trying to score. He knew he was going to get a wide for that, so 1 run added to the total. Score moves on 14. This time sweeps this one towards the man. It's short square. There's a man behind there for a single. Score moves on to 15. Shibin Premachandran earlier in the day had scored a century and he was bowled by Harry, so he will want to give one back to him. And Harry will want to keep trying to score against him. That's the contest that we're looking here. This time plays it into the ground and straight to the man at short cover. So dot ball there. Short, plays it back towards the bowler. Didn't make use of that. It was quite short. He could have gone through covers with a punch, but managed to play with a slightly straighter bat, so the ball going back to the bowler. Pressure on the batsman now. Plays it towards the man. It extra covers. Tries to field off his legs. Keeps it down to a single. One thing good about these Petrofac fielders, they're quite on their toes. They're not somebody who's stationary. They keep moving around. They keep moving. So that gives them the momentum right away as soon as they start going for the ball. It's what the other team should learn from them. You can't be flat-footed on the field, however strong you are, as Harry plays this towards the man at mid-off. The man at short covers, running around to his right, making sure they don't get that single. So this is the pressure that he's created. He's just given away 3 runs of this over so far. So this big shot winding up, and this time Harry sweeps this towards square. The fielder giving the chase, and the ball just stops within the boundary. 2 more runs to the total. Another good over coming to a close. He's just given another 5 runs. So Shibin, after that magnificent century, the first 2 overs has just given away 10 runs. 18 for the loss of no wicket, chasing 175. Another 157 runs more of 102 balls. Not a tall ask, but someone needs to start picking up that ante. The singles are not going to work. They just had 1 boundary in the 3 overs that they bowled. Change in the bowling again. First change coming up. Dilfer is being brought. Adil Anwar, after that 1 over where he went for 8 runs, has been taken off the attack. Brings Dilfer. Another slow bowler. Santosh on strike. Dilfer plays it in the air over the man at point. The ball racing away towards the boundary, and it'll reach the fence. AJ unable to cut it off. Did well. The moment it was hit over his head, he turned around and chased the ball, but in the end, the wind taking the ball away for a boundary. This is what I was talking about. Need to take your chances, need to target somebody. They started with the first ball a boundary, so Dilfer under pressure right away. So he got to keep that pressure and see again as he bowls a wide, trying to bowl this away from the batsman, ends up bowling a wide. So 1 extra run. Score moves on to 23. Maximize those overs that you can, so you can have a fair shot at the total that you're chasing of 175. This time under the bat, Santosh just quietly checking whether that's a wide. The umpire says it within the tram line. So dot ball. So 5 runs coming off 2 balls. change in the field. The man at point being sent to deep point now. The man at third and the man at gully slightly squarer now. And the man at there's another man at longs. Now another change again. So short third and a point, and the man at deep gully this time. So the cut, there's a chance that the ball goes towards the gully region, but there's no fielder there. There's a man at this, and as he bowls another wide, the keeper misses that one, and it will be considered as wide. So a free gift from Dilfer. 5 runs coming off that ball without it being counted. So he's under pressure. He's given away 10 runs of the 2 balls that he's bowled. Jikesh, the captain, just standing next to him, probably just telling him to calm himself, bowl it within the tram lines, and wait for the batsman to make that mistake as he comes around. As Santosh plays it towards the man at short covers, they take away for a quick single, 1 run. On the pads, umpire saying not out. Chike is just getting his man at point slightly back. Good comeback, a dot ball. 11 runs coming off this over so far. 4 balls done, 2 more to go. Just the kind of over DNO Dynamos need. As he bowls another wide, batsman deciding against taking that risky run. 1 more run to the total. The score moves on to 30. 30 for the loss of no wicket. Another wide, so another extra run, another extra ball. Man, it covers just a bit perplexed whether that was off the pad, not to be. So another wide to the total. Score moves on to 31. Trying to cut this one, misses that one. As we get the news that Adil's birthday today. So happy birthday, Adil. You can wave to the crowd. Thank you. The OGPL and the rest of the players, all of this, wish you a long and healthy life. Thank you very much for your commitment to the game. Dead ball. Another ball still left in this over. 9 balls in the over so far, and it's still not complete. As this time drives it towards the man at mid-off. Jikesh quickly, both the batsmen deciding against the single. So a lengthy over coming to an end. Dilfer giving away 13 runs. This is what DNO Dynamo needs. They need a few more overs like this. 31 for the loss of no wicket at the end of 4 overs. Adil Anwar coming back after he bowled at 1 over. This time, taking Santosh by surprise. He took his eye off the ball and trying to evade that one, hit himself on the elbow. So straight away medical assistance required here. It wasn't that shot, but the moment he took his eye off the ball and tried to shy away onto his elbow, and he's in a bit of a pain. Santosh this time back to his as a misfield there for the man at covers, gives the man at extra cover a chance to field. One more run added. Score moves on to 32, brings Harry on to strike. Harry has a steady start. He's 8 of 11. Santosh has done the bulk of the scoring with 14. A few extras to help their cause as well. Trying to manufacture a shot. Top edge over the man at short third. So his first boundary. Not a convincing one, but he'll take that one just to build his confidence. He gets a boundary at last. So he's now into double digits. He's 12 of 12 with that boundary. 36 for the loss of no wicket. Chasing 175 in their allotted 20 overs. This is their second game of the season, the OGPL Season 4 here at the Bijoy's Cricket Club at the QUEENSPARK Stadium. This time sweeps the man at short square leg, doing the fielding there, keeps it down to a single. Satyan, the fielder there, quite an experienced campaigner, will be coming on to bowl later on in the innings. It's a matter of time. When does Jikesh bring him on to bowl? Adil, this time onto the back foot, plays it towards the man at wide of mid-off. Jikesh, the fielder there, skipper, marshalling his troops. Missing in the first game, had to get the news that his side lost to Caltrol Eagles in the first game. Will really want to come back with a strong statement out here that they are the defending champions and they know how to play. As Harry trying to play a shot beyond the bowler and go for a single, doesn't manage to get that. End of the over. 7 runs coming off it. 5 overs gone. 38 for the loss of no wicket. Another bowling change. Jikesh, the captain, coming on to bowl himself, and he's bowling the last over of power play. A title sponsor, Cashew. Associate sponsor, Quantum Financial and Marketing Limited. Management Limited. Servowell, Sparklet MES, Quick Art. Jikesh bowling to his counterpart to place it on the back foot towards the man at mid-off. Adil Anwar, the fielder there. Hedge and Sachs also are associate sponsors in this tournament. Thank you to all the sponsors. As Jikesh bowls a wide, so one more extra. Unable to control that one. The few wides given away by Petrofac, this will be slightly concerning. We've not given away too many of the bat, but those extras do help because this time Harry sweeps this one towards short square leg, digs off for a single, one more run. He's tried that shots a few times, unable to get the boundary. Probably he's not connecting it that well. And it's playing at the wrong side. The wind is taking the ball away, so it's not a favorable shot, considering that the wind is blowing from left to right. Probably can try it when he's batting from the other end. As of now, he's more better off playing in front of the wicket. Understand the conditions when you are on the field. As Jikesh slower in the air, and this time towards the left of the man at long off, a one bounce into the fence. It was slow, it was quite short. Santosh had all the time in the world to go onto the back foot, and since the field was inside the circle, it's always going to be a boundary once the ball clears the infield. So 4 more runs to the total. It goes on to 45. 7 of the over so far, with the 2 more balls left in this over. We're in the power play. This time trying to play a big heave, gets inside of the bat, goes towards the man at deep mid-wicket. Shibin, the fielder there, ambles away to his right, gives away a single. Score moves on to 46. 8 runs of this over so far. One more ball left in the over. $129 runs more required. Trying to cut this one. This was a quicker one, and the umpire calls it an over. End of 6 overs. Power play done. 46 for the loss of no wicket. Harry batting 14 of 16 balls. Santosh batting 21 of 20 with 2 boundaries. 8 runs coming off that over. 129 runs more required of the 84 balls. An interesting chase on our cards at the OGPL Season 4 here at the Vijay Cricket Club. You're watching this game live from ASL Pictures, sponsored by Cashew, associate sponsors QuickArt, Quantum Investment and Financial Management, Servowell, Hedge and Sachs, Sparklet MES. Satyan comes into the attack, right arm off spinner. Tall guy. Ball starts off with the wide, so one more extra. DNO Dynamos, not a sparkling sort of start, but a steady one can make the base. And if they have wickets in hand, they can go full throttle in the last 10 of this innings. So as of now, be an interesting approach is how much of a risk do these two take, or the batsman to follow take, in the initial 10 or 12 overs, and then size up for the last 6 or 8 overs. This time going, inviting the drive, lovely little loop, giving a bit of air, inviting him to drive. Harry going behind the ball, making sure his leg is behind the crease. This time over the man at point, the ball racing away. AJ there doing well, covering the ball, keeping it down to 2. So 2 more runs saved for the side. And that's the difference that this side has against the rest of the sides in this tournament. The fielding has been much better than the rest of them. They saved those extra run or 2, which makes it difficult. But this time Satyan gives a freebie, and Harry is happy to send this over to fine leg. So the 50 coming up, 52 for no loss in 6.3. And Harry moves on to 19 of 18 balls with that boundary. Wanted to loop this one and give it a air, but give it a bit too much, and Harry is too good a batsman to miss out on such an opportunity. This time drives this back down the bowler. The fielder down at long on, keeps it down to a single, brings Santosh on to strike. He moves on to 21 with that stroke. 55 for no loss in 6.5. Last ball of the over coming up. This time cuts this in the air. AJ going to his right, and he misjudges the spin, and the ball races away towards the boundary. So what should have been a single, he overran the ball, didn't account for the spin there, and unfortunate for his side and for Satyan, that was an expensive over that comes to an end. 13 runs coming off it. 59 for the loss of no wicket in 7. Santosh now 25 of 22. Harry batting 22 of 20. And no success for Petrofac so far. $116 more runs required of 78 balls. GK this time, and this time a well shot, but there's a fielder there down at deep square. Harry comes back quickly for the second. He knew that the fielder was quite slow, taking that advantage. That's good thinking. Gets 2 runs to his side, 2 runs for himself as well. Jikesh coming into bowl his second over. He's quite deceptive in his approach. And this time bowls down a wide and onto the knee of the wicketkeeper. And another one being struck. It was Santosh who was struck in the while batting, and this time Anup, the wicketkeeper, is in a bit of pain. The ball missing his pads and going on, hitting him flush onto the knee. 62 for no loss. Back live again. GK continue. Harry taking strike. Just had to pull out at the last second. Not happy with the position of the bat. He's back there. This time under edges this one. Ball racing away towards the third man boundary. The man at short third giving the chase. Does he save the ball? Yes, he does, and keeps the ball down to 2. So good fielding, good commitment. The man at short third. They're off the blocks as soon as the ball is played, so that gives them that advantage of reaching the ball earlier than the rest of them. 64 for no loss. Floated this one, plays this towards the man at extra cover. AJ, the fielder there. This time quite late approach. Didn't want to commit early onto the ball, waiting for the ball to come towards him. And a single. Score moves on to 65. Plays it in the air towards the man at deep mid wicket. Wait for the. And the ball. One bounce into the fence. He goes. The man at long on, running to his right. Trying to save the ball, but in the end parries it over the boundary for 4 more runs. Score moves on to 69 of 7.4. Another one, this time tossing this one up, and Santosh has got enough power to send this over the long on boundary for a maximum 6 more runs to the total. It was in the slot and enough time to pick his spot, and that's 6 more runs to the total. 75 for no loss after 7.5. And Santosh is now 35 of 24. Hundred more runs required. JK this time goes quick and straight to the man at long off. Santosh is just forgetting that he has a runner for himself. He's been given that luxury. So 1 more run to the total. End of the over. 76 for the loss of no wicket at the end of 8 overs. He's batting 36 of 25. Harry batting 27 of 23. Zain is doing the running for him. Jikesh has gone for 25 of the 2 overs that he's bowled. Current run rate of 9.5. Required run rate 8.25. Very much gettable. All wickets in hand. Shibin coming back to bowl his third over. Coming round the wicket. Santosh this time under edges this one. No run there. It's given away 10 runs of the first 2 overs. So Jikesh coming back to his premier player who scored a century earlier in the innings, and now looking for him to get that breakthrough that they have been waiting for the last 8 overs plus. This time over the top and over the bowler's head for another maximum. Santosh deciding to pay back for his side. They were at the receiving end when Shibin was going hammer and tongs, and this time the moment it was tossed up, he is just too good to miss out on that. He moves on to 42 of 27, his second maximum. This time plays it towards the man at point. There's a slight miscommunication because the runner Zen wanted that single. Harry deciding against it. He was running to the danger end, so that was his call. He decided to against it. And all's well so far for DNO Dynamos. Shot plays it back to the bowler, so could come back. 2 dot balls after that maximum that he's given. 6 runs coming off 4 balls. This time plays it towards the man at long off and cleanly pouched by Adil. So he chances arm a bit too much and in the end perishes for his team. 82 for 1 after 8.5 overs. The man to go, Santosh, out for 42 of 30 balls with 5 boundaries and 2 maximums to his credit. Didn't get to the pitch of the ball, but still went on with the shot. And in the end, straight catch to the man at long off. Adil Anwar, safe pair of hands. Brings Prabhat Saxena, the number 3, to the crease. Prabhat earlier was, when he was captain of the side, had scored a century in season 1. So he has the potential, along with Harry, to score these runs. "93 runs more required." So Shibin being brought into the attack for a reason, and he manages to get that wicket of Santosh, who was going well. And Prabhat Saxena off the mark with that single. 83 for 1 after 9. Needing another 92 runs of the remaining 66 balls. 9 wickets in hand. Successful over for Petrofac, with Santosh back into the hut after a well-made 42 of 30 balls. Satyan to continue over number 10. Jabs this one to a short that could have let and go for a wide. He probably thought if he plays it fine, he can get a boundary, but not to be. 1 run added. Score goes on to 85. 84 rather with that single. Satyan bowling to Harry. Cuts this one towards the cover boundary. AJ coming to his right, keeps it down to a single. Score moves on to 85. Plays this towards short third. Quick single between both these batsmen. Score moves on to 86. Plays this towards the man at extra cover. The fielder doing well. Keeps it within the field of play. Batsman come back for two. In the air. Chance for the man. And the keeper does well. Holds it off his near his face. So end of it. The innings of Harry, who's out for 30 of 25. 26 rather with two boundaries. Not an innings that he'll be too happy about. He had a task on hand. At one end, when Santosh was going well, he had to bided his time, but then right now is making his way back to the pavilion. New man, Deepesh Rajgor would hold a good new ball and got a wicket in his 4 overs. Has the task of now partnering Prabhat Saxena at the center. Cuts this one to his point, straight to the man, quite hard, so they couldn't go away for that single. Dot ball, end of over number 10, 88 for the loss of 2 wickets. Welcome back. Over number 10 completed. 11 to start. 10 more overs. 175 is what they needed. They scored 88 so far. They're on par with the required run rate. Bhupesh coming into the attack. Trying to bowl a faster one. And not a wide. Prabhat just a bit surprised with that. Bhupesh gets away with that. Dot ball to start. Plays it down the ground towards the man at long on. Shivinder, fielder there. Single to the total. Score moves on to 89. Brings Dipesh on to strike. Bhupesh floats this one and plays it over the man at mid wicket for a maximum into the fence of the adjacent ground. So 6 more to the total. Tossed up delivery. Ball coming in and he helps his way towards the mid wicket boundary for 6. Score moves on to 95. So good start to the over. The first ball was a single, and the first ball was a dot rather. Second was a single, and then a 6 for Deepesh. So Bhupesh under pressure now, and the men at the boundary line on long on and mid wicket to square leg will have to be on their toes. The ball's going to be traveling a lot to this side. At this time, plays it in the air for the man at square leg under that, and a safe pair of hands. It was a half tracker, and Bhupesh committed on the stroke just a tad early, and that was good enough to send it in the air. And the man at square leg stationed there. This is what I was talking about. They need to be on their toes, and they come up with the goods. A wicket which is gifted by DNO Dynamos was the one that should have gone for a maximum, but ended up to the man at square leg. So Deepesh is out. He's out for 6 of 3 balls. Caught by AJ off the bowling of Bhupesh. Newman Shabazz at the crease, coming in at number 5 at the fall of Deepesh's wicket. Bhupesh, after being hit for a 6, a half tracker, and lucky enough to get a wicket. So Petrofac can breathe a bit easy now. They got 2 wickets in successive overs. Cuts this one towards the gully region. They take away for a single, get 1. Score moves on to 96. 96 for 3. Last ball of the over coming up. 8 runs coming off the 5 balls. 1 more ball left in the over. They're chasing 175. This time drives it towards the man at point. They take away for a single. Ends the over at 97. 78 more runs off the remaining 54 balls. Not a tall ask if 2 of them just get together, stitch a good partnership, and they can overhaul the score. Remember, both these sides are winless so far. Their first game they've given away. They've lost their first game, so no points to them so far. So they will be itching to get those points on the board, get their campaign back on track. Satyan to continue. He's got a wicket in his last over. Sorry, that was Satyan coming back. 1 over 13 runs. Full toss, plays it towards the square leg area, backward of square, 4 more runs. And this 100 coming up. 100 for 1 in 11.1 overs. Pressure straight away on the bowler. Boundary of the first ball. Full toss down the leg will be called a wide. So 1 more run. Score moves on to 102. 73 runs more required. Tucks this away towards backward of square. He finishes one. Quickly turns around for the second. Good bit of batting. Knowing where the fielder is, gets 2 more runs to the total. Score moves on to 7 runs coming out the first 2 balls. Check. Dot ball trying to play it in front of square and take off for a quick single. Both the batsmen were not sure about it. So dot ball. Check, check. Plays it over the man at mid-off towards the long. Cotton ball. Shabazz sucked into the shot, plays it back to the bowler, and Satyan takes a wicket number 4 down for DNO Dynamos. They're keeping in line with the run rate, but lost another wicket. Prashant comes to the center. The busy character is short, but busy character keeps getting those singles and doubles. And if he does that with Prabhat, who can clear the infield, it's going to be interesting last few overs. Full toss, plays it over the man at square leg. AJ, the fielder there, missed out on a boundary ball. So 1 more run to the total. So the last 3 overs, they've gone for a few runs, but the good thing for Petrofac, they've taken 3 wickets. They got Harry out first, and then they got Dipesh, and then Shabazz. 106 for 4 in 12 overs, last 8 overs of the innings. needing another 69 runs, just at about 8.5. Prashant trying to manufacture this shot, not there. He could have driven that rather than trying to play a late cut. He favors the late cut. He can go for the drive. That's important. You can't have everything being cut. And Jikesh quickly back to his runner, bowls it this time, full toss, plays it down towards the man at long on for a single, gets a single. That's what he's supposed to do. If he can't get a boundary or 2 or 3, he still gets a single, gets off strike, brings Prabhat, the experienced guy, onto strike. Who this time bowls a slightly faster one, plays it towards the man at square leg. There's a single there. 2 runs coming of 3 balls. That's good bowling. Just make sure you're going below 7 and over. 7.5 is what you're allowed. Anything 8 and above is going to help DNO Dynamos, who now this time Prashant plays a late cut. There's a man at short third, gets a single for it. Just dabbed it along. He could have cut it more or played it more, slashed it harder. Could have taken the ball away from the fielder. In the end, gets a single. Score moves on to 109. York trying to york the batsman, gives a single at short square. 1 more run to the total. 4 runs coming off 5 balls. Score moves on to 110. 65 more runs required of 43 balls. Trying to keep his field. Full toss, plays it towards the man at square leg, and a good catch by AJ. Didn't get at the meat of the bat, got it at the bottom of the bat, and another wicket. So wickets continue to fall for DNO Dynamos, and pressure getting to the better of Prashant, who wanted to play that release shot. He had it in the slot. So on couple of occasions where the ball going to the boundary, has found AJ, who's been patrolling that area. 110 for 5 after 13. 65 of the remaining 42 balls. Satyan to Prabhat trying to play a sweep will be called a wide. So 1 more run to the triple Nelson. 1-1-1 on the score. 64 more runs of the remaining 42 balls. Not a difficult chance, but the wickets is what will be concerning to them. As Prabhat goes on the back foot, plays it towards the man wide of long on. Started off quickly for the single, realizing there's no 2 there, so decided to go against that. Brings James on to strike. He too can play a few shots. This Englishman is really good at the back end of the innings. A few lusty blows, a partnership between these two can suddenly bring this chase much more interesting. We already have an interesting game on hand. James on strike. Satyan to bowl. Full toss. Plays it towards the man at short fine. A misfield there. Gives away 1 run. DNO Dynamos missing on some freebies. This also should have gone to the boundary, but found the man at short fine. And luckily for them, for Petrofac, there was a fielder there who stopped the ball from going to the boundary. So 1 more run. Score moves on to 113. Slightly short. Plays it towards the man at mid-wicket. There's a fielder there. By the time he fields, both these batsmen come back for 2. AJ, the man who's been kept busy that side, he's done a good job so far. He's taken 2 catches, saved a couple of boundaries. This time plays it towards the right of the fielder at square leg. So for 4 more runs. So the welcome boundary for DNO. And they go on to 119 now in 13.4 overs. 56 runs more required. Satyan expensive here. 2.4 overs. He's gone for 31 runs. This chase is now all revolved around Prabhat Saxena, who has the late middle order and the tail enders with him. Will be called a wide, so 1 more run to the total. Score moves on to 120. 55 more runs needed. Plays it on the up, trying to drive this one. Gets an inner half edge, and the ball racing away towards the boundary. Stopped just inside the boundary. 2 more runs added. Score moves on to 122. With 1 more ball left in the 14th over. 6 overs to go after this. Last ball of the over. Edges this one. Lucky for him. It went over the keeper's head and they get a single. Not a very good shot considering the situation of the game. He had the last ball. He could have easily just played it down the ground, play a single, come back and take maximum strike. He needs to understand that. He needs to keep most of the strike if he wants to chase the score down. End of the over. 123 for 5. 52 more runs of the remaining 6 overs. Down the ground, plays it over the man and a chance dropped. Jikesh ran to his left, got to the pitch of the ball, and grasped that one. 2 more runs to the total. A risky shot, but nonetheless gets 2 more runs. So the target now 50 more runs of the remaining 35 balls at the run rate of 8.47. They're going on 8.82. So at the moment, they are above the required run rate. This time plays it with soft hands, plays it towards mid wicket. They complete one, wanted second. James wasn't too keen on that, so keeps it down to a single. Shibin's last over. James plays it down towards the deep mid wicket area. He gets a single. .127 for 5. 48 more runs. Prabhat on strike. Drives this towards the covers. The man there unable to stop that one. Ball racing away towards the boundary. And it reaches the fence. The man at short cover couldn't able to cover it off. The man at deep extra cover running to his left. But in the end, he too couldn't save that one. So 4 more to the total. 131 on the board. This time, off the keeper's gloves, they misses that one. Wait for the umpire signal. He calls it a bye. Doesn't matter. That's a single. Brings the score on to 132. 9 runs coming off this over. The required run rate is under check. Need to see how does James react to this one. Last ball of the over. Across the line, and his timber has been sent for a toss. Not a good shot to play considering that they didn't have many to get. Prabhat at one end is doing the bulk of the scoring. All he needed to do was play along with his partner. Decides to go one across the line and saw his furniture being disturbed and his way back to the pavilion. 132 for 6. 43 runs are remaining of the remaining 5 overs. But the agonizing fact is that they have lost 6 wickets. Dilfer to continue. Prabhat Saxena on strike. He's the key for this chase right now. As Dilfer comes into ball. Shot cuts this one towards the man at short third, the gully rather. They get a single for that. Starts off with a single. 42 of the remaining 29 balls. Zain on strike. Coming at number 8. Zain plays this on the rise. He plays it towards long off. Sensible thing. Get a single. Go back to the non-strikers and let Prabhat do the thinking. Let Prabhat do the bulk of the scoring. You only need to stand there with him and he's going to take you over the line. It's interesting chase now. Trying to manufacture a shot. Umpire unmoved. LBW first and then the stumping. Both decline. So a dot ball. Again, not the ball that he should be trying to sweep. It wasn't there for the sweep. He has to keep playing in front of the wicket. The ball sailing over the head of the fielders from this area. The breeze has stopped, but still good enough. He's just a couple of hits away from bringing that run rate down to 6 runs and over. Don't have to do anything fancy. Don't have to keep trying to hit too hard. In the air, brings the man at long on in play, but falls way short of it. A single. The ball. Single down towards the man it covers. So 1 run to the total. Good job so far from Dilfer in this over. 136 for 6. Prabhat on strike. Last ball of the over coming up. Full toss. Plays it towards the man at cow corner. There's the man stationed there. And that is agonizing for DNO Dynamos. Probably the last hope.
All right, so good evening. Once again, a grand welcome to everyone. This is the Oil and Gas Premier League Season 4, the 2026 edition, and a Super Saturday second game at Queensland. We have both the team captains, Caltrol Eagles and Spira Power, and a match official along with us. So we'll proceed with the toss and then have a quick word with the captains. All right, so Spira Power. Okay, Caltrol Eagles will spin the coin. Heads is the call from Spira Power. Heads it is. So they won the toss. Good evening, sir. The toss is gone in your favor. We'll have a look here. So what do you decide for today's game?
We'll go for bat first today. So last game we took the bowling first. I think we did quite good with the bowling. So this time we have some couple of changes in the team as well. So yeah, we want to go with batting first this time.
All right, when you talk about batting first, definitely a great day to play cricket. It is a bit cloudy and the wind is blowing as well. So what target do you have in your mind that you would like to defend?
We'll go for at least 150 minimum. So let's try for that, and if anything goes above, that will be our, good luck for us. Yeah.
All right, any specific player that we should be watching and keeping a close eye on?
Yeah, we have some couple of players in the team today who will gonna get bat very quite well. So we got some players called Christopher. We got Anulal. So let's hope for them. I hope they'll perform well today.
All right, good luck to you and your team. You can go and get ready for the game. All right, Raisbai, the toss not going in your favor. However, is it a good toss to lose, or how do you look at it?
I mean, on the given day, Akash bhai, whichever team plays a positive cricket and a better cricket, they win. So, as you rightly said, toss is not in my control, although we would like to have batting first as well. But we are happy either way.
All right, now looking at every edition in this tournament, definitely this year, there's been a lot of practice matches that you have got for the boys. And we are seeing positive energy going forward in this tournament. So what is the message that you have passed on to your team in this tournament?
I mean, what I have conveyed to my team members is stay positive, give your best, and let's hope for the best. The momentum what we have been carrying for the last few weeks, let's continue that and then play with a positive frame of mind.
All right, now since you'll be chasing the target, how much do you defend? I mean, how much do you restrict them?
We would like to restrict them to somewhere around 130, 120. Let's see what we do now in the ground.
Right, so all the best to you and your team, sir. Have a great game of cricket. So news from the center is Spira Power. They won the toss and they're going to bat first. All right, so 17th overs play in progress. And Jikesh, the captain, in the bowling attack. This is his last over. He's picked up a wicket already. And Zain on strike, getting the front foot away and hitting that towards the square boundary. There was a fielder in the deep and restricted only for a single run. And I'll be handing over the commentary back to Vinay.
One 46 for 7 after 17. 3 overs to go. Adil Anwar coming back into the attack. Zain batting 10 of 7 with 1-6. 29 more runs of the remaining 3 overs. An exciting chase on hand. Top Guns have not lived up to their billing. Prabhat Saxena. Santosh had a good outing. Harry was the one who didn't. James Foster played a rash shot. It all depends on the number 8, 9, 10 and 11 to get them over the line. 29 more runs of 3 overs. Adil Anwar, the medium pacer, coming back into the attack. Zain on strike, who had a 6 of the previous over. Adil Anwar bowling to Zain. Slightly short, tucks this one. The batsman deciding against the single. Not sure. Vinod didn't take off the blocks. They need to get those runs. They need to take those singles as well. If it's a tight one, you still have to back yourself. You tucked again and another dot ball. Two dot balls. Pressure onto the bowler now. 16 more balls left. 29 more runs. Adil's going to bowl this one and probably bowl the last over as well if required. Shot, and the batsman was taken by surprise. 1 run to the total. Brings Vinod on to strike. Adil's bowling that short line. He's trying to target the body, not giving away any room to the batsman. They need to make sure they're not getting injured. This is a corporate event. Field being changed. The man is shot fine. Shot again. Quick for the batsman. Another dot ball. It's now the make or break moment for them. They need to pull off a couple of lusty blows, at least one in the next two balls, just to give themselves a side. That run rate, which was needing 8.5, has now already jumped to about 11 runs and over in a space of few deliveries. Short ball, but this time misses this one, and he's been bowled. Absolute mayhem out there for DNO Dynamos. They had this chase under control and going all well, but a few bad decisions finds them in a very precarious situation of needing another 28 more runs of the remaining 14 balls. With the last 3 men at the crease, Chandan is the man who's coming to the center. Last ball of the over coming up. 17.5 overs completed. Driving this one down the ground. They take off for a single. Zain wasn't ready for that one. In the end, had to complete that single. One more run. A magnificent over. Just 2 runs of it and a wicket. Making sure that the target is more and more steep for DNO Dynamos, who need now another 18 runs. Sorry, 28 more runs of the remaining 2 overs. Scorer, last ball single था. स्कोर कार्ड पे देखो. ठीक है, okay, copied. Dilfer to bowl the penultimate over. Short, trying to cut this one straight to the man at short third, gets a single. Score moves on to 149. Zain on strike. Drives this down the ground towards the man at long on. Gets a single. And a misfield there. Luckily for Shippen was there behind. So keeps it down to 2 runs. .150 coming up. This is the over they need to target. Short, plays it towards the man at square leg. AJ, the fielder there, who's done brilliantly well through the game. Saved a lot of runs for his side. Keeps it down to a single, 151. Singles were not going to hurt Petrofac. They need those boundaries. They need 16 runs and over. The current run rate 8.16. Were doing well until they'd lost wickets in quick heaps. Chandan on strike. He needs to get a couple of blows out in this over. This time tucked himself on and too late. It's a dot ball. Dilfer not giving away any room. He's bowling within the line. He's bowling it quick. These 2 balls got to be calculative. They need to get that required run rate or leave at least not more than 15 in the last over if they want to toss this one up. Plays around the wrong line. Gets a single down to mid-wicket for a single. 1 more run to the total. Score moves on to 152. Last ball of the 19th over. Plays it in the air towards the man at long on, and Jikesh missing another one. Single to the total. 153 for 8. 22 required of the last over. Adil Anwar coming to bowl. Zain batting 15 of 13. Yusuf batting 2 of 4. It's a tall ask for DNO Dynamos. They were in the game until the 14th or the 15th over and then started losing their way. Adil, quick one, plays it in the air towards the man at square leg. They come back for 1. They need to come back for 2. Zain has to keep strike. Is there a chance of a run out? He just makes it in, waiting for the umpire's decision. Says not out. 20 of the remaining 5. So every ball has to go to the boundary or more in this last over. 155 for 8. Asking for a caught behind. Umpire unmoved. It's a dot ball. So 20 of the remaining 4. Tucked him up, and this one goes to the boundary, keeping their hopes alive just for some time. A boundary of the 3rd ball. Score moves on to 159. 16 more of the remaining 3 balls. Not a good line bowled by Adil. He knows he has a lot in the bank to. And just a few more balls. Just make sure he keeps it in line. Wanted to bowl the quicker one. Aired in line. 3 more balls left in this game. Again, plays it in the air, and the ball going towards the boundary for 4 more. So a short ball ploy not working really well. Zen was ready for that. He sends it to the boundary. 163 for 8. The last 2 balls of the game. And the matter of interest is both these balls have to make sure that they go over the boundary ropes if DNO Dynamo at this juncture wants to pull off a heist. Not so good bowling, knowing that the short ball's not working. All you need to keep it is there is no need to flex your muscles against a number 8 and 9 batsman. Two more balls left in the innings. Taking their time in setting the field. So 3 men on the boundary now. There's 1 man at square leg, there's a man at mid wicket, there's a man at deep mid wicket, there's a man at long on. So predominantly it is going to be a short ball. The boundary, it's still not good enough. Absolutely not so good bowling by Adil. He knows all he needs to bowl is he doesn't need to bowl quick, but he's trying to flex his muscles out here. Not sure if that is a wise decision to do against a 9, 10, 11 batsman. 8 more runs required with the ball to bowl. Last ball of the game coming up. 8 more runs required. Shot again. Plays this over the man at third man for a boundary. But in the end, a bit too late for DNO Dynamos, who lose this game by a margin of just 1 run. Sorry, they lose the game by 3 runs. 171 for 3, 171 for 8 in their 20 overs. A victory by just 3 runs against DNO Dynamos. We'll go in for a presentation.